What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. This is going to be one of the truest videos I've ever done. As you see in the thumbnail, it says 100% proof and 100% truth. This fight right now. That's the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights this year. And the biggest fight coming up this Saturday, November 22nd. It just exposed the entire business of boxing. It just exposed the entire business of boxing on so many levels. It exposed so many lies, hypocrites, and just goes to show how full of it the boxing world is. For one, I did a video yesterday. When they tell you that black versus black fighters don't sell. Well, here you have a card that's star-studded from top to bottom. They told you that black fighters don't sell. When you use black fighters versus black fighters, you need Mexican versus black. Black fighters are boring. They're runners. Black fighters without a certain mantra and a certain costume or attitude, demeanor, they don't sell, right? You got to be flamboyant. You got to be rude. You got to be flashy. That's how you sell, right? They told you that's why Andre Ward didn't sell, because he didn't have the character that Floyd Mayweather had. Right? But then they told you Floyd Mayweather was boring. So all the fight that he fought was against guys that the world just wanted to pay to see him lose. When Deontay Wilder was fighting, he was getting all the knockouts. People said Floyd was boring because all he did was box. So Deontay Wilder get all these knockouts, and then everybody says, well, he can't box. But I thought you liked knockouts. Now you have a fight between two guys. One guy who everybody said he can't punch himself out of a wet paper bag. He's pillow-fisted and he's boring, in Devin the Dream Haney. The other guy, everybody says that nobody knows who he is and he's just fighting journeymen, right? He's fighting D-level fighters. Nobody knows who he is. Yet, this is all the world is talking about is Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. Two guys who haven't proven nothing. One is boring, one is unproven. It just goes to show when they fear a specific type of fighter, right? And I'm going to explain. You have two of the biggest, they tell you that you need a Mexican fighter. Mexican fighters are the biggest sells, biggest draws because Mexican fans support relentlessly. Well, you got two of the biggest Mexican fighters on this card, Mexican-American, David Benavidez and Bam Rodriguez. And Devin Haney and Brian Norman has completely overshadowed them by far. And they're not even the main event. David Benavidez is going to fight Anthony Yarde in a can't-miss, action-packed fight as the main event. But everybody's talking about Devin Haney, who can't punch, and Brian Norman, who's unproven, the co-main event. Bam Rodriguez is going to fight another Mexican fighter, right? Can't miss. Action-packed. Nobody's talking about that, right? Abdullah Mason is going to fight for his first world title at 21 against Sam Noakes. Sam Noakes is a UK fighter. That's everybody celebrates. That's the opening card, and nobody's talking about it. Now, that just debunked the notion that black versus black fighters don't sell. That was a lie from the beginning, as I told you guys. Just a narrative created. Here goes another lie that it just made me sick to my stomach today. And this is no offense to nobody I'm going to mention. No offense to nobody I'm going to mention. But it just proves that the boxing world don't like Devin Haney at all. And they will root for whoever he is fighting and pretend that they are fancying his opponent. They don't like him. They don't like his opponent either. Now, I've seen everybody from Teddy Atlas to my brother Tim Bradley. You know I love him, but I got to call the spade a spade. Tim Bradley, Teddy Atlas. I've seen two brothers I respect very highly, Sean Zeitel and Radio Raheem, Sergio Mora, Roy Jones. The list goes on, right? What they have in common is BS. Because they all claiming now, each and every one of them has stated this now, that Brian Norman as the underdog and the way he carries himself is a breath of fresh air for the sport of boxing. You had that podcaster yesterday, the Pain Game or whatever it is, podcast. He come out and he make a statement. Oh man, yeah, see, Brian Norman, the way he carry himself, he don't want to talk about fashion. He's a breath of fresh air. He's a turn. I was listening to Sean in Radio Raheem. Well, he's turning the page from the Mayweather era that Tank Davidson, Devin Haney, and Ryan Garcia, and Shakur Stevenson, and Tia, etc. That era that come up behind Floyd or looked up to Floyd carried themselves with the jewelry, the designer clothes, the flashiness. Brian Norman is a breath of fresh air because when he was asked about the way Devin Haney dressed or wardrobe, he shot it down. He's just a plain Jane. He carries himself just a nice country boy that's a hard work, hard hat, lunch pail, just a business-like mentality at a young age. And he comes to the table and he's a breath of fresh air from what we got before. That is a bold-faced lie. Let me tell you why that's a bold-faced lie. Because has anybody heard the name Terence Bud Crawford? I'll wait. He ain't wearing jewelry. He ain't flashy. He's lunch pail, hard hat, business-like every single time. Every single outing. And all he did was dominate every time he stepped in the ring. He was just a country boy from Omaha, Nebraska. And salute to Brian Norman Jr. and Sr. because they know I've been supporting them from the day one. On a whole nother level. And they can tell you that. But this is bogus. And this is why I said in the videos before, I feel bad for Brian Norman Jr. because these are all fake fans and fake support. Because they really all detractors of Devin Haney. And they don't like Devin Haney. Now all of a sudden, Brian Norman, the way he carry himself is a breath of fresh air. But they ain't never seen Terence Bud Crawford, who was the polar opposite of everybody in the sport. He was the polar opposite of Errol Spence, who walked around with the big EJ chain. Don't wear no jewelry. Wear the black Nike Air Forces. Just basic clothes. Just T-shirts. At the end, he started wearing designer clothes because everybody was saying he don't want to talk to nobody. He don't have the character and the pizzazz and the flashiness to make him a star. He's not a star. He don't sell. He's not a draw. Now everybody got their pom-poms out, high-fiving and chest bumping for Brian Norman, talking about he a breath of fresh air. Brian Norman is just being who Brian Norman is. But we've seen this movie before. His name is Terence Bud Crawford. No jewelry, no flashy cars, no flashy clothes. Country boy wrestling in a hotel lobby with children, giving back to his community. Ain't doing a bunch of cursing. Don't do a bunch of trash talk. It's all business when it comes to the fights. stare downs, ain't no jokes. I ain't hear Teddy Atlas and all these people say Terence Crawford was a breath of fresh air for the sport of boxing. All they talked about was how he don't sell. Last time I checked, Andre Ward, no jewelry, no cursing, just lunch pail, hard hat, businessman, stare down, stare through you. Everybody said he just don't sell. Ain't nobody talking about Andre Ward was a breath of fresh air for the sport of boxing. That's right, because he wasn't, and Terence Crawford wasn't facing a guy that the whole boxing world truly don't like Devin Haney. This is why I keep saying I feel bad for Brian Norman. Because all this love, it's all fake. It's all fake. When it came to him and Jerron Boots Ennis, I was the only one on here, one of the few people on here defending the situation with him and Jerron Ennis. Everybody said he ducked and was outpricing himself. Every single person. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. If Brian Norman loses, watch how quickly they all disintegrate. They're not fans of Brian Norman. They are fans of being detractors of Devin Haney. And here's the thing. Yes, Devin Haney dresses flashy. He got the shiny teeth. He wear the jewelry. He got the flashy cars. He came up in the Mayweather era in the Mayweather gym. His father came from the streets and was flashy. That's in our community. He picked that up. Yes, the dude ain't getting in trouble. He ain't getting arrested. And all he want to do is fight the best. And when it comes to press conferences, Devin Haney don't mind doing interviews. I heard Radio Raheem say, "Oh, Brian Norman don't mind doing interviews. It's a breath." Devin Haney, when does Devin Haney bark at interviews? Unless he's cutting weight and just not feeling it. He does all the interviews. He wants to fight everybody. So what are we talking about? I ain't never heard nobody say Devin Haney was a breath of fresh air because Devin Haney wanted to fight the absolute best there is to offer. Off a year layoff after being cheated, in that debacle with Ryan Garcia, he fights the former unified champion, Jose Ramirez, and nobody gives him credit for it. Now he's fighting Brian Norman, and people is, well, he got to show us he can escape the left hook. It's just nasty work, bro. So now Brian Norman is a breath of fresh air, but Terence Crawford wasn't? Terence Crawford wasn't? What's the difference? Country boy, don't wear a bunch of jewelry, family man, with his kids, that's all you see? They talking about, well, he comes from a hard-working, his dad owns a towing company. Yeah, and I salute that, Brian Norman Sr., 1,000%. But to act like this is a breath of fresh air when you seen Terence Crawford, who is still in the sport and is the pound-for-pound king, and got no respect going into the Canelo fight until after he beat Canelo? Hey, man, that's all I got for y'all, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.